How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. And this is going to be my updated review on RevenueServer. So if some of you guys have been wondering what RevenueServer's been up to, what kind of hosting they have, how's the reliability and performance, what's the uptime like, the features today, we're going to get through all of that. And I'll try to be as brief as possible so that you guys can get the information you want without having to spend too much time looking around. Okay. So let's get started with it if you guys are interested. By the way, and a special discount for RevenueServer, you'll find that in description down below. Now RevenueServer claims an uptime of 99%. However, I've seen that sometimes it does go below 98% as you can tell here. So we've got 99, 98, 91.97, and if we go back in 2021 you'll see some 99, 91, but you'll notice that there are plenty of 100% uptime. So from August, or from March rather, through August, it's all 100%, which is very rare to see with these web hosting companies. You know, ultimately you're really trying to push for 100% at all times, but this is definitely impossible to keep a network running smoothly 100% of the time. Eventually there will be problems that cause brief outages. Even Google goes down occasionally still. We want that number to be as close to 100% as possible. In RevenueServer very clearly provides that almost half of the year, so lots of 100% uptime, which is definitely very nice to see. Now with regards to features, if you're starting out with a WordPress site, then RevenueServer may be the place for you. The company offers managed WordPress on all of its plans, which means the company handles essential services like automatic updates for WordPress. RevenueServer also supports WordPress command line management on all plans, which is not that common. That's not to say that RevenueServer is for WordPress only. It supports all manner of other content management systems as well as static sites on generic servers, since WordPress is a popular option for millions of websites around the world. However, RevenueServer dedicates some special advantages to customers who go with the open source blog platform, but not just managed WordPress. Of course. So we've got WordPress, we've got shared web hosting plans, we've got WooCommerce, reseller hosting, and cloud hosting. Of course it all depends on what you're looking for, so most people I know will go with either WordPress or web hosting. WooCommerce will definitely be for those that are looking to open up online stores, but RevenueServer Basic Startup Shared Hosting Plan supports a single website, 10 GB of disk space. Unmetered data transfer, a free drag-and-drop site builder, free email accounts, free daily automatic backups, the cPanel, hosting control panel, and one-click installer for WordPress. So that's definitely a lot of features considering this is just the startup plan now. Definitely a little bit more expensive than other hosting providers, but we'll talk about that later. Now while RevenueServer offers unmetered data transfer, the startup package only supports around 1,000 visits per month. That's not a lot, but it's more than enough for a site that is just starting out though. The GoGeek LAN. Its top-level LAN also adds WordPress staging, which makes it easier to test changes to your site before releasing them live. The top-tier package also comes with the Git version control system pre-installed. Git is a tool for recording and controlling all coding changes and is the backbone of the popular developer website GitHub. Git is an advanced user feature and is helpful if you have a team of developers working on your site. RevenueServer also offers a cloud hosting product for those who need to scale their sites based on demand. This level of service is best suited to sites with high traffic, such as businesses and popular online destinations or services. There are 4 tiers for cloud hosting packages now: the Jumpstart Business, Business Plus, and Superpower. These plans are all about the hardware and bandwidth. The entry-level plan will offer a Linux container, which is a virtualized operating system with 4 CPU cores, 8 GB of memory, 40 GB of SSD space, and 5 TB of data transfer. With the next plan, you'll double up your CPUs, 12 GB of memory, double the SSD space, and still the same with the 5 TB data transfer, which is all the same throughout the plans here. And of course, the more you pay, the more you're going to get all the way up to 16 CPU cores, 20 GB of memory and 160 GB of SSD space. RevenueServer also offers customized enterprise hosting solutions. If your project is a little bit bigger than usual, now is RevenueServer easy to use? Signing up for RevenueServer is relatively easy. After choosing your desired hosting package, Subgrant offers to either registeranu.com domain for $5.00 per year or allows you to use one of your own domains. I recommend bringing your own domain, even if you don't have one yet. The fact is you can find a domain registrar with cheaper prices than RevenueServer. However, if you don't want the extra hassle of setting up a domain from an external provider, then the extra cost may definitely be worth it. Once you're through with the domain section, RevenueServer requires all your account details. You know, the name, email, password, payment information, the basic stuff. Now with regards to these RevenueServer customer support, it begins with its multiple knowledge bases. The primary is one of its generic knowledge-based site with answers to general questions organized by topics such as hosting, panel applications, billing, and so on. Each section has articles written by the company that help with many of the most common issues. If you don't see your issue on the knowledge base landing page, you can use the search box right here and hopefully you can find what your problem could be beyond the main knowledge base. So there are also dedicated tutorials for WordPress, Joomla, Magento, and Drupal if the DIY route isn't working for you. Then RevenueServer also offers 24/7 live chat support as well as trouble tickets, of course, to the paying customers. Now for new customers, SiteGrant requires a 1-year commitment to get its best price. Pricing for the startup package with the shared web hosting here is $399, but after the first year it will charge you at nearly $2.00 a month sub grounds. Other pricing tiers have similar options. The Grow Big package is the next year and offers multiple hosting. 20 GB of web space, 100,000 visits monthly, and it's at $3 all the way to 400,000 visits monthly and 40 GB of web space at $7 a month, but of course renewed at $4 a month for offshore hosting. The entry package pricing is $1 a month, and it will increase by $8 as you move up the plans. All the other plans are similar in pricing to the web hosting, except for the reseller, because if you go with the cloud with the reseller hosting plan it will go all the way up to 100, but you are able to configure your plan so you can just remove features or add features and the pricing will differ. Now, RevenueServer is a nice service with big pluses to recommend it, such as automated WordPress updates for everybody while other hosts do that. It's rare to see this at the bargain basement hosting levels. It's also great to see another web hosting company that is upfront with its pricing and one that does not automatically opt you into high-priced add-ons. However, RevenueServer doesn't have the same advantages for lower-tier customers that bigger web hosts like for example HostGators and Bluehosts do. Many of them, for example, don't put limits on the number of visitors you get every month, at least to a point. Companies will constrain access to your site if you're using too much bandwidth so as to not harm other customers using the same server as you, but there are no hard limits as there are with RevenueServer. Now, the conclusion is that RevenueServer is a great service that offers decent value for money. If your major concern is rice, you can definitely find cheaper alternatives such as, hosting or Bluehost HostGator, but it's quite common for most initial price offerings to require a 3-year commitment. RevenueServer, in contrast, will give you its special price for a single year or even a month, though you'll be paying full freight after the initial month. That allows you to get the benefits of a cheaper price without an incredibly long commitment beyond price. Some of the basic managed services it provides, such as automated WordPress updates and free automated daily backups, are a huge plus as well. The limitations on bandwidth are definite drawback, but RevenueServer is largely competitive. The biggest question with RevenueServer is whether you want to give up its added features in favor of a cheaper price elsewhere, so it's really up to you, and of course the uptime is a huge factor, especially if you're going with any offshore reseller plans and you haven't, an online store and you want your store to be up and running for as long as possible with little to no downtime. RevenueServer is a wonderful option, so that's pretty much it for this review. If you guys are interested in RevenueServer, you will find a special discount in the description down below. And of course, if you're interested in the other services that I mentioned such as Paylex Web, WhereasServers.com and RevenueServer, you also find links to the full reviews and the description as well. So besides that, comment below. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer all of them. Like and subscribe if you'd like to support the channel and stay up to date with everything web hosting. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.